Hi everyone, welcome back. Looking at organisation again today and delving into the world of blood. So we're going to have a look at why we have blood in the first place, so what its function is, what blood is made up of, and what makes those parts of blood so good at their jobs. So as always, grab some paper, grab some pens and follow along with me. Your blood has four main functions. Your blood transports substances that your body needs, such as glucose and oxygen. As well as waste products like carbon dioxide. Your blood also helps to maintain or regulate your body temperature. Your blood is really important for fighting infection, so it is sort of the channel, the roads that your white blood cells travel on to get to wherever they are needed. And it also helps maintain the pH, so the acidity and alkalinity of the blood. So your blood, you might know, is the red stuff that comes out of you if you get a cut that we need to be alive. But blood is actually made up of four different components. So we're going to have a look at each one individually and talk through some of their special features. So first component of our blood is the part that makes it red, and those are our red blood cells. Now, red blood cells are actually red, but if you look at them, they don't really look like cells at all. Red blood cells kind of look like a jam donut that you've squished in either side. I'll put a picture up but next to me to have a look. If we to draw them, you just draw like a red donut disc and colour it in, but I'm not going to. But if you look at red blood cells from the side, they've got this weird sort of peanut shape. We call this shape biconcave. Bi is in two and concave is in going in, so two bits that go in. This shape is all to do with jamming as much oxygen into that cell as you can. You can actually carry four, put the right number of fingers up, 4 oxygen molecules per red blood cell, and when you think about how many trillions of blood cells you have, that's a lot of oxygen. There's also no nucleus inside a red blood cell, again to absolutely maximise the space inside for oxygen. So if you team those two things together, that means you're going to be carrying or getting as much oxygen around the body as possible. That's red blood cells. Next one we're going to have a look at is white blood cells. White blood cells aren't actually white, they're colourless. Well, they're not colourless, they're clear. White blood cells look like normal cells or your bog standard skin cells that you draw, back in the beginning of GCSE, but they are much, much larger and have a really strange shaped nucleus. They come in lots of different varieties, but the one we're going to draw is just what we call a phagocyte, which we'll look at in the infection response topic. So there's our white blood cell. It's got some special features. They can change their shape so they can engulf and capture pathogens and destroy them. Then being able to change shape also allows them to squeeze between the gaps between two cells in a capillary, so they can move between cells and get to wherever that site of infection is. They also contain lots of enzymes and things for destroying pathogens, but again, we'll look at them in more detail when we look at the infection and response topic. The next part of blood isn't a cell itself, so the next two aren't actually cells. The next part is called platelets. Now, platelets are hard to picture. They're sort of like just a mass of fibres or a mass of bits in the blood, and their job is to cause blockages or to make a form of net to trap blood and form clots. So those could be clots on the surface of your body, which is going to be a scab. I've got a few scabs at the moment from my various pets clawing at me lovingly. or they're causing clots inside the body, which is what we don't want. Scabs are even more useful and protective because not only do they stop you bleeding, they also stop things like pathogens, bacteria, viruses getting into your body and causing you an infection. Our last component of the blood it's not really a component at all, it's called plasma, and it's the sort of straw-coloured, yellowy fluid, mostly water, that everything else floats in. So the reason why your blood is runny and not just a mass of cells is because of the plasma. Now, you might think that your red blood cells do most of the heavy lifting in terms of transporting substances, but it's actually your plasma that transports the majority. So anything that's not oxygen is transported in your plasma. So nutrients from your food, ions like sodium that you need, and potassium that you need for nerve function. You've got things like water, you've got carbon dioxide dissolved in there, which is going to be put back into the lungs for during gas exchange, for example. Most of your blood is made up of plasma. The rest of it is made up of a combination of the platelets, red blood cells and white blood cells. But you'd have plasma is the largest component of your blood. Red blood cells would make up another third, and then the two smallest components of your blood are your white blood cell and your platelets, because you don't need them all the time. They're only needed, for example, white blood cells are in your ale, platelets when you've got a cut, but you always need to transport oxygen and you always need to transport everything else. So that sort of explains the imbalance in how much of there is of each. What you need to go and do then is make sure you've got your own copy of the mind map, and that you are able to, in an exam condition, talk about what the blood does and the different parts of blood, their adaptations, special features, and be able to sort of identify what they would be in an exam. That's also going to leave us for today, so make sure you check back soon and check the Google Classroom for the quiz, and we will be coming back very soon and looking at, I think, heart disease. So make sure you check back for that, and I will see you all very soon.